Hi, what's a life well lived? That's quite a topic, isn't it? These days, our consciousness is flooded with self help books and literature that profess to help us become better and more successful. While some of these can be useful, I'm amused to see how humans' age old love for wisdom and quest for knowledge of how best to live has been distilled into skills for success in the material sense and well being. In an echo of Russian literary colossus of Fyodor Dostoevsky, who was perhaps the first Western thinker to subject conscience to such tough and honest scrutiny, human conscience is seen as inconsistent and irrational. Socrates' motto, Know thyself, is elevated into deifying the self. However, apart from using this knowledge to climb the financial ladder higher and faster, one can learn a lot from this noise. For instance, it offers the tools for an intellectual self-examination leading to greater self-awareness, thus helping us learn the imperative of emotional self-transparency and become more emotionally attuned. This enables us, without having to grasp Freudian psychoanalytical concepts, to relate to a much wider range of emotions. Self-awareness lessens our risk of being enslaved by unacknowledged feelings. It helps us relate to the cold facts in a more rational manner rather than letting our emotions cherry pick the facts for us. As British philosopher Jonathan Glover writes, knowledge of the possibility of unconscious factors distorting our view of our situation places on us a special duty of scrutiny. The desire to succeed in the material sense is surely a legitimate passion. It can bring us the opportunities for doing good and achieving multidimensional personal growth. Self-awareness prompts our psychic hard drives to examine the position that our hard-nosed ambition spells out. Let's reflect on a couple of things. First, we almost always ask what we expect from life and how best to get it. Shouldn't we also ask, does life expect something from us, and if so, what? Second, is the success of a life winning a race? Shouldn't it be judged by the fulfillment of the purpose we assign to it, which in turn should decide what we deem valuable and important in life? So, what then is a life well lived? There's no one definite answer. It's up to each of us to define the standards by which to mark the distinction between our life successes and its failures. The quality of a life lived depends on the totality of acts, work, commissions, and omissions ascribed to that life. At the end of this alone determines the productivity and quality of life to the one who lived or those who watched or examined its course. This is the setting in which the life should be viewed. So, great people are usually judged in the context of a span of time that's much greater than their own lives. But you know what? Actually, all of us have the power to exert influence before our lifespan by sowing the seeds of our legacy as teachers, parents, doctors, nurses, business people, and other roles that life calls on us to play. An individual's life is a cross-section of a larger whole. What we are at a given moment is not fully known to us, much less to those around us. With hindsight, in our own eyes, we appear in diverse garbs as if we have all along been playing a role, as Shakespeare said. In retrospect, much of what we do appears to be passing phases. Our worries look absolutely pointless. Our pursuits seem a fading shadow, and most of our accomplishments are like transient melodies whose reverberations are quickly vanishing. How should we then judge ourselves and examine our success and failures? To start with, you must try and figure out what credentials your life must present before you could call it well lived. That's entirely up to you. The human in itself is a creature of instinct. is moved by the forces of life like other animals. Its body is its instrument of action like other animals. Its biological needs are aligned with nature's purpose of preserving individual life as well as the existence of the species to which it belongs, like other animals. However, the instincts of human life are regulated by the ability to reason. So even its lowest manifestation is at a level higher than those of any other animals. Hence, being decent human beings and sincerely fulfilling our commitments as parents, friends, citizens, and so on forms the core of our existence, the base we strive to build from. As we rise above the base, wealth, power, distinctions, and fame may be important, but they don't provide a dependable gauge to measure the real value or quality of life. These factors are of varying importance to different people in assessing the worth of a life, but they are not at all decisive. We sometimes come across people who score high on these criteria but appear devoid of any real inner worth of significance, don't we? Perhaps because there's some kind of indescribable sense of significance of our life without which our external achievements don't suffice. Unless our life is connected with that significance, we can't live our life to its full purpose, use, or worth. This connection helps us to reflect upon our work and our pursuits and match them against the life we want to live. In so doing, we ensure the best use of highest expression of life's hidden power in our capacity for conscious thought and action. The more aware we become of our role in the kind of world in which our lot is cast, the more the power of our life finds its fulcrum, and more we are able to put our life to better and more effective use and service. As I mentioned at the beginning, we now have ever increasing access to self help through books, videos, audios, coaching, mentoring, and training. But unfortunately, such a recipe is not usually available to us in matters that really matter, matters of heart, matters of soul. There's no easy way to it. In the modern world, our critical faculties are not submissive to the attitude prescribed by a simple and unsophisticated and usually black and white life of faith. Don't get me wrong, religion still provides guidance and emotional satisfaction to many, and that's appreciable. But its ability to explain our world has eroded in the face of scientific and intellectual advancement. The progression of knowledge and liberation of thought have combined to disrupt the functional unity of psychological, emotional, spiritual apparatus of life. It has become increasingly difficult for us to accept uncritically the assumptions that are inherent in various cultures, right? One such piece of dogma, for example, is the prophecy of a Messiah to appear. Now, I can't suppress the temptation to mention that often such belief breeds inaction and complacency, making it easy for us to sit and wait for someone to arrive who will transform the world and solve all our problems. The view diminishes our obligation to strive and sacrifice to realize higher ends for this world. Our moral and spiritual regeneration in this age can only occur through a conscious effort and initiative to define and fulfill our mission in life and on earth. What counts the most in this respect is the craving to grow by outgrowing our limitations. We may not all become a Tolstoy, Einstein, Mandela, or Gates. However, we can all fight against global warming, against inequality. We can all play our role. We can definitely make progress in improving the landscape of our inner being while striving to consciously play our part in making this world better than we inherited it. Progress in this respect rests on individual effort alone. Any external aid is of little consequence because in most situations in life we know the way but have to be morally prepared and inwardly advanced to follow the path. The course of time is absolutely irreversible and our portion of it cruelly limited. This fact casts upon us our duty to exploit the present to its fullest and to be constantly mindful and vigilant in abiding by our chosen course to define a life well lived. So please don't think that in discussing my conception of a life well lived, I seem possessed by the objective of personal perfection and haven't noticed the importance of realizing the collective objectives of an enterprise or a society wherever you live, whatever you do, wherever you work. No, far from it. I believe that only individuals who are well integrated in their inner growth and outer adjustment can truly make families, societies, communities, and organizations better. Individual growth is primary to all human growth. Individual growth fosters peace and modifies the obsession with money and power, as it alone can redeem individuals from the grip of our baser impulses. The forces that change society and business are released by the liberated individuals acting in isolation. The contributions of such individuals are akin to beholding the light, as Plato suggests in his parable of the cave in the Republic. You too can be such an individual. It's within you. How, you might ask? It's not my place to answer that for you. The answer unto a life well lived for yourself is your own to find, and you will only find it deep within yourself. Best of luck finding it. Take care. Thank you.